Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today I've got a knife review for you that is not of a new knife. This knife's actually been around for a little while. I want to say a year and a half, 2 years, maybe even a little longer than that. I don't know for sure exactly. But anyway, it's been around for a while. It's been in my cart probably, my God, 3 or 4 times. I've always liked the way it looks, but I've always had one real big problem with it that I wasn't sure if I'd like it, and I finally one night just said, you know what, screw it, let's check it out. So here it is. This is the Viper Novis front flipper. And as you can see with the pouch it came with right here from Viper Novis, it's actually a pretty nice pouch. Nice sewing along the ends. Not bad. Nothing special, but not bad at all. So if it has a slip, you know what that means? It has no pocket clip, which this is one of the very few knives. I have an Open L and a Victorinox, but that's it. This is the only other knife of any real beefy consistency that does not have a pocket clip. And I didn't know how I felt about that, but well, before I get into too much of that, let's go over some specs on this knife. And also, thanks for watching today. If you like what you see, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along. I'll continue to bring you guys some pretty good content, I promise. Now, some specs on this knife. We have an overall length of 7 inches, a blade length coming in right at 3 inches, cutting edge 2.875 inches, blade width 1.125 inches, blade thickness 0.16. It's getting up there in the beefiness. We have blade material of Bowler M390, so we got some premium materials on this knife here. Warncliffe style blade, which I would maybe kind of argue it kind of looks like a sheep's foot to me, but whatever. Blade grind of a flat grind with a satin finish, handle length at 4 inches, handle width coming in at 1 inch, handle thickness 0.62 inches. We have some very nice green micarta scales. This is available. This knife, one of the more attractive things about this knife, guys, excuse me, it's available in a lot of flavors, from natural micarta to green micarta to really cool bolsters, wood handles. So you look it up on Blade HQ and your other favorite retailer if they carry Viper knives. Some pretty attractive design, pretty attractive flavors for this knife. As you can see, it is a primary front flipper, so there's really no other ways of opening this other than the pinch pull. But this is a pure front flipper, and I personally really like that. This knife was from Viper, so it is coming from Italy, manufactured in Italy, has a weight of 4.05 ounces, and coming in at $139.95. So for the price, you're getting the materials. You're getting premium materials. I don't really have any yank with the price. It falls right in line with any other knife that has M390 and micarta. So we're all good there. Now let's do some size comparisons. And we're going to keep this a micarta party today because I know a lot of you guys love micarta. I am head over heels for micarta. So let's just stick with that theme. We got the Civivi Elementum in micarta. And we have, so this is G-Carta, close enough. The TRM Atom, as you can see there. Pretty good references. And let's take a look at some CJRBs. We have the large feldspar, and we have the mini feldspar. Nice little in-between. Very close there with the mini feldspar on pretty much overall length and even width. Pretty close there. Totally different blades, but good comparisons nonetheless. And one more, let's compare some other Italian knives. Italian knives, micarta. This is the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. And here we have its little mouse that tags along, the Biblio. So there you go there. Another good comparison with the Biblio. The Grand is definitely a little bigger overall in width and length, but still some good size comparisons there for you. Now, let's talk about this blade, because this is a really unique looking blade. It was one of the first things that really popped out to me whenever I go through the listings on Blade HQ or wherever I'm looking at. I say Blade HQ a lot because a lot of places don't carry Viper, so Blade HQ is one of the primary ones for that brand. But it just really popped out. To me, it's a sheep's foot. This is a sheep's foot blade. Kind of a flatter edge, so it, maybe resembles a Wharncliffe a little, but just a really attractive blade. Really like the little clip point up here. We call this a modified sheep's foot. How's that? But just a very nice looking blade. Now, this is not the sliciest blade in the world. It's a pretty thick stock, and it doesn't come down to a razor thin edge, but it's also still adequate enough to, I think, meet vast majority of people's EDC needs. So I don't think there's a whole lot to worry about there. And of course, this being an Italian knife, the chamfering all over this knife, all the way up to the tip, it gives it kind of a fancy, elegant look, maybe? That's the word coming to mind, elegant. It just gives it an extra little level of class, and you get that in a lot of Italian knives. It looks really nice. Another thing that looks really nice is the maker's mark on this guy. Again, this knife is screaming Italian. The designer of this knife is Fabrizio. How's that for a first name? Freaking, where is he in a shampoo commercial? Fabrizio Silvestrelli. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I know it's Fabrizio, but then the last name, Silvestrelli, I believe. Fabrizio Silvestrelli. That is an awesome name. Absolutely love that name. Pure Italian. I hope it's Italian. I apologize if it's not, but I do love the name nonetheless. One thing I don't necessarily love is the Viper logo. They just put it so front and center on the blade. I move it up, make it a little smaller, move it up. I don't know. I'm not too hot about that. To me, it kind of takes away from, this side is just pretty gorgeous. Imagine the other side without all that billboarding on the knife. Wish they would calm that down a little. I do like the fact that they have the M390 steel marking on there. And overall, just a very, very, very nice blade to go with this package. And onto the handle and ergos of this knife are surprisingly really, really good. I would also, I would call these ergos great. And it's because it doesn't have the pocket clip I wish it had. But it really does. I mean, it's a full grip, fits great in your hand. Yeah, it could use that jimping right up to, I can see why they didn't want to bring it up anywhere here, because it's just nice and fancy and chamfered, looks real nice, but at least bring the jimping up to about, at least where the liners end, at least there, maybe even up there, but this could definitely use a little more jimping. But it really does feel great in hand. It gets slim down towards the butt of the knife, and it really does feel great. No complaints, nothing but good things to say about the ergos. Really, really like that. Again, if it wouldn't have had that pocket clip, I would have bought this probably a year and a half ago. But even without the pocket clip, I'm becoming more and more glad I pulled the trigger on this. The liner lock is very easy to access, as they kind of curved the handle back a little to give you that. So you push that down, and the blade is very smooth. It's a heavier blade, so obviously it should shut pretty easily. But very easy to access that, very easy to open and close. And now the action when it comes to opening this guy. This is where this knife sets apart from a lot of other front flippers. This is definitely not your beginner's front flipper. As you can see, there is a very minimal amount up here on the front flipping tab. Before I start talking about how challenging it can be for some people, I do want to point out the very nice jimping, because when you put this little amount of tab up here to flip, you have to nail the jimping, and you have to nail everything around here to make it work. And they did that. They really did do that. Very nice jimping. As you can see, it is aggressive, but it won't tear your thumb up if you flip it right. Because some people want to put their thumb more on the top up here. If you put it on the top, it will make your thumb raw. But if you put it to the side right here and just move it out. It's actually very easy to deploy. I've said it before in other videos, front flippers are like riding a bike. It can be really hard at first, but once you get it, they really are butter, and they're so fun to deploy. I think front flippers are one of the most fidgety knives, or the most fidgety types of deployment there is, and this is no exception. It comes out just fine. It rockets out. The detent on this guy is nailed. Could not be better detent. Any weaker detent, and it would maybe feel a little, you could have some misfires because of the small flipper tab up front, or at the top. But no, but they didn't. They did a very good job on this. Very good job. And I don't think I talked about the micarta in the handles. Let me backtrack just a real quick second, because this micarta is very nice. I love being able to see the grain so detailed like this. There's no marred kind of blast spots. Just really good all around micarta. Very solid. And I do also like that chamfered backspacer. Boy, I really missed a lot on reviewing in the handle and ergo section of this. But no, nice chamfering, fantastic micarta. Some of the best micarta I've ever had a knife. It is very comparable to the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. So, huge fan of that. But again, I already covered kind of everything I needed to about the action, because there's really not that much to cover. It's a front flipper, and it requires some front flipping experience to really nail it right out of the box. But again, it is good. It's a pretty sweet action when you figure out the front flipper. I won't say when you finally figure it out, because it doesn't take that long, guys. You watch this video, you have it down. Yeah? Right here. Boom. Open. Good to go. And then shake shut. This is a great knife, guys. All in all, I'm kind of mad at myself that I waited that long to get this. Right after. That did lock up, by the way. Yeah, I know that was kind of a whiff flip, but it did lock up. But I waited so long to get this, I wish I didn't. Because all in all, I really, really love this knife. It has a very Italian-y feel to it. From the nice black leather slip that it kind of smells like Italy. That was one of the first things I did, was pop it open and smell it, and it smells good. It smells like leather. But from the slip to no clip to all the chamfering everywhere to the really elegant combination of satin to micarta all over the place and this awesome maker's mark, this really does feel like an Italian knife. It looks like an Italian knife. Even this little, I'm going to leave this lanyard. I'm not a huge lanyard fan, but I'm going to leave this on there just because I think it's a very good overall package. Really happy I bought this knife. If you guys want to take a walk on the wild side and get a front flipper that's a little different, I'd highly recommend this. I'm a big fan of this, and this one's probably going to stay in my collection mainly just as a unique piece and something that I will enjoy carrying around from time to time. So this is a good one. It's a good one. It's better than I thought it would be. Pleasantly surprised with it. So if you're looking for something different, give this guy a try. Until then, I am done for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. I'm out.